it starts at its limit. And the movie tells us that 3 centuries ago, beings with superpowers started to appear, and an era called the Age of Monsters and Lords began. 30 years ago, a superpowered child named Kalof followed a spaceship to Earth and was adopted by a Kansas family. And 3 years ago, that child grew up and called himself Superman, the all-in-all. And 3 weeks ago, Superman managed to stop the country of Brivia from taking over the country of Gerhamber, whatever they're called. They're both made-up countries anyway. And 3 hours ago, a superpowered being named Zahamer of Brivia, also known as the Hammer of Brivia, attacked and defeated Superman in Metropolis for the first time in the hero's life. Just 3 seconds ago, we see Superman. He's falling in either the South or North Pole. What matters is that he lies on the ice, injured and immobile, whistling for his dog, Crypto. The dog comes, stays by his side, supporting and playing with him, happy to see his owner. And then Superman drags him by his cape on his face until he gets him to Superman's fortress in the North or South Pole. The important thing is, there are robots there that take Superman, and they start to heal his wounds with the sun, and after his healing reaches 83%, he gets up to continue the fight before Previa's hammer destroys Metropolis. Superman goes back to continue his fight with Previa's hammer. What we notice is that the one controlling him is Lex Roser, and just like Superman got humiliated the first time, he gets humiliated again. It's like they brought him into this movie just to humiliate him. Anyway, after Previa's hammer humiliates him in his own territory, they leave and go to Lex Roser to celebrate their victory. Superman dons his glasses, becoming Clark Kent, and heads to his job at the Daily Planet. For the first time, they slightly altered Superman's appearance during his transformation into Clark Kent by modifying his face and hair, making at least some change. Lois Lane, Clark Kent's girlfriend, claims that Previa's hammer is actually from Previa. Maybe he just gave himself that nickname to mess with Superman and have a reason to go after him. And he told her, by the way, Lois Lane, do you know that your boyfriend Clark Kent is Superman? This could be true, especially since Brivia is separated from Brivia's hammer, because he's causing them trouble in their name, like when he attacked America, which is their ally. Actually, it's possible that Lex Luthor is in a meeting with the United States government, showing them his soldiers, like Ultraman, who is the strongest man on Earth, or the engineer whose blood contained nanites. She realized she could fly, control technology, and shapeshift into anything imaginable. Or the alien army called Raptors. So you ask me, why is he deploying his forces? Against the American government so they can use them to destroy Superman? But why the American government? Do they even want to destroy Superman in the first place? Because simply, the country of Barivia is a friend of America, and their relationship is like brothers. So when Barivia attacked the country of Greenhaber, and Superman stopped them, he basically attacked America's ally. However, America declines to ally with Lex Luthor, suspecting his malicious intentions, as he supplies weapons to Barivia and benefits from the ongoing war. Actually, Clark used to hang out and spend some time with Lois Lane, and then they would do a recorded interview together, because Lois Lane is the only journalist who gets to meet Superman. Lois Lane would corner Superman with questions about his dealings with the president of Barivia. He'd admit to destroying the president's army and taking him to the desert for a chat. Lois would press for more details, and Superman would respond, and I put him on a cactus. I warned him against attacking Gernhamber, an American ally, again. Lois Lane criticized him, questioning how he could attack an ally for a country that's not even a full United Nations member. So Superman tells her that they want to take the land from them, but Lois Lane tells him no. They say they want to free the people from their bad government. Superman says that's just an excuse, and then he gets angry. He stopped recording and told Lois Lane, "It's an excuse to take land from Gernhamber." Lois replied, "As your girlfriend, I know, but as Lois Lane, as a journalist, I must get answers from you and put you on the spot. That's my primary job." So they continue the recording, and Lois Lane asks him, "Did you get permission from the president, the minister of defense, or the Barivia army before you entered their vital area?" When Superman refuses her request, she questions how he could do something so reckless as a representative of America. Superman responds, "No, I only represent myself, that's first of all. Secondly, the country of Barivia is carrying out killings in the country of Gernhammer, and is only acting strong because of America's support. They have no right, and they're killing people without justification. Actually, I don't even see myself as involved in these events at all." Lex Roser and his soldiers, Alterman and Baloo the engineer, North or South Pole. How long must I memorize this? And they open it with the power of love and friendship, and the director is a real genius. Then they destroy all the robots and take over the base, even Crypto the dog. You're Superman, but you can't stop them. And Lex Roser just wants to get anything on Superman, so the government can take him down. The engineer starts selecting a computer for Superman. Meanwhile, Lex Roser creates a distraction by sending a monster to Metropolis, which Superman goes to confront. After a long, grueling battle, the Justice League from under the stairs arrives. Superman is accompanied by G-Lantern, Hawkgirl, and Mr. Terrific, who bring the monster with them. After a lengthy battle with hits exchanged back and forth, they finally succeed in killing the monster. But Superman barely has time to celebrate because we see Lex Luthor appearing on a bunch of television stations and showing a recording of Superman's parents. They express their love for him, stating that they only sent him to Earth because their planet was destroyed. He was sent to help the weak, physically, spiritually, and mentally, and they consider him one of those weak beings. Obey as much as you can, and if anyone disobeys you, that's normal. And marry as many women as you can to strengthen your lineage and rebuild your planet Krypton again on Earth. And they end the message with advice to Superman. Rule without mercy. Or why do I suddenly feel like I entered the Invincible cartoon? Anyway, that's not our topic. It's not important. The recording turns people against Superman, and the world's opinion shifts. Superman discovers Lex Luthor took the recording from his headquarters at one of the poles, but he can't speak to defend himself. So he rushes over there and finds the place destroyed. And he doesn't find his dog, Krypto. He says, "Where is everyone? Where's my dog? Was he here or not?" Then he flies off in a rage and attacks Lex Luthor's tower, saying, "Where's my dog? Yeah, where's my dog? Oh, you son of a dog." He starts acting like John Wick himself. He starts his rampage, breaking things live on air for all to see. Because Superman is really naive. And of course, public opinion turns against him even more because of these actions from Superman. He leaves Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, and Mr. Terrific battling an interdimensional monster to talk to Lois Lane. The crucial point is that he informs Lois Lane that the recording from his parents was damaged when they sent him to Earth, and only the first half was visible. They claim they sent him to help people do good, and wouldn't contradict that by telling people he should enslave them. Something is clearly amiss. He finds it strange himself. He's now turning himself in to go where they took his dog, for unknown reasons. Do they really love John that much? That's a lot. Superman is surrendering. Lex Luthor, taken through a strange portal, emerges in a prison on a bizarre, dusty world. How odd. What do I have? What do I care? What am I in? Okay. Lex Luthor, it's said he repeated the Big Bang Theory.
His company is getting ready.
Like that. And he managed to make a couple of special gadgets, and no one can reach them except him through these gates. And there he met a strange guy named Rix, known as the Element Man, who can change his body and shape into any element. Lex Sylvester wants him. Rix, who shares a cell with Superman, attempts to give him kryptonite, the only element that can harm, weaken, or kill Superman. Lex follows Lex Luthor's orders because Luthor kidnapped his son and threatened to kill him. Lex Luthor is shown surrounded by countless devices. In front of them is their coach's loans. They'll write posts and hashtags to turn public opinion against Superman. Wait, is that Jane? I thought she looked familiar. After that, Superman finds Krypto trapped in a shell, watching a squirrel video on loop, making him chase them endlessly. That's how he was trapped. The important thing is, we see a lot of prisons and people imprisoned just because they wrote something bad about Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor locks Superman up with him until morning. Before dawn, Superman attempts to deceive Lex into taking away the kryptonite. In return, he'll save his son from Luthor. But Lex, his so-called friend, tells him to stay quiet and that there's no chance to escape. Superman confronts Lex Luthor, who is with the Bureauviat president and a former ally of Superman. After psychologically tormenting Superman, they execute his former ally in his presence. He sits and screams in agony. Good, good. That's what you get for saving a dog, you son of a dog. But he is convinced by Superman's words and removes the kryptonite in exchange for saving his son from Luthor. But first, Superman needs to regain his strength. The issue is the lack of sunlight in this place. However, Lex provides an artificial substitute that restores Superman's strength. Superman then escapes his cell, returns Lex's son to him, and frees Krypto from his cell. And the plan is that they escape through one of Luthor's gates. But unfortunately, Luthor's soldiers attack them. Mr. Terrific and Lois Lane track Hamad, who is following Superman, to a gate leading to a pocket world. Mr. Terrific takes down Lex Luthor's soldiers in an impressive scene before reaching the gate and passing out. Because the foolish thing that Lex did will actually cause a black hole to form at the location of the gate. The chance of this occurring rises with each person passing through the gate, as it activates upon entry or exit. However, they discover the situation is complex and descent is not possible in this world without specialized tools. Mr. Terrific dispatches 2 spheres to investigate, but the gate can't contain them for long, so they'll witness events on their return journey. Superman, Krypto, and Rex kill Luthor's soldiers, and after they're done with them, they find an even bigger disaster. There's a black hole pulling them in, and before they can do anything, Superman manages to escape. Intense ice forms towards the black hole, propelling him, Rex, and Krypto in the opposite direction. They escape through the gate a mere second before it shuts, and thanks to Mr. Terrific, who shows them the way, Rex and his friends leave with his son, and Mr. Terrific stays at the gate to guard it and study it. But as for Lois Lane, so she takes Superman, whose body is now full of kryptonite, to a safe place so he can rest for a day or two and regain his strength. The only place she can hide him is the Kansas family farm where he grew up, which is a completely unexpected place for Superman to be hiding. Wow. The country of Borevia is amassing its army on the border of the country of Gerhanmer. I can't even read the name of that country, but that's not the point. The important thing is they're gathering their army to invade it again. But it's clear there's going to be a massacre, because the people of that country are fighting with farmers' tools, bricks, some sticks, and things like that, and they're raising Superman's flag because he's their only hope, even though he's still weak. But he can't leave the United people alone in their battle, so he decides to go help them. But the problem is that Mr. Trivik comes to him and tells him that he has a much bigger problem. Lex Noser has opened the portal again, and this time, the Earth cracked, and the parallel world started to collapse, and was about to take the whole planet Earth with it after a while. There would be no more Drahanber, no more Borevia, and no more Sweden, if they failed to halt the space-time rift, or whatever it's called. The crucial point is that this tear in reality began to devour planet Earth, and it reached Metropolis and tore it in half, while people were evacuating the entire city. And before the anomaly could kill them, Superman arrived and saved them. To close the rift, they needed to get the device's shutdown code. From who? Lex Luthor, the Son of Destruction? Suddenly Bella, Ultraman, and the Engineer attacked Superman and Mr. Terrific, sparking a fierce, intense battle between the two groups. They knock out Mr. Terrific and overpower Superman, prompting him to say, "Damn." Jay is flying aimlessly in the sky when they catch him and continue to beat him up. He's preoccupied with his own matters until he reaches the peak altitude in space. Then, he turns over and begins plummeting rapidly from space back to Earth. And of course, the Engineer and Ultraman who are holding onto him crash with him. And the only ones who survive the collision are Superman and Ultraman. So how did Ultraman manage to survive among the clouds? At that moment, we see Ultraman removing his mask, and it turns out he's actually Superman. Wait, what? So nothing happened to him, and he's just waiting there for the right time? The comparison is avoided, and the only one who is compared is Fulhadam, who's considered one of the Hamdilnawi. Tar Batterman is actually Superman, but he's a clone or something like that. He survived the crash with Superman, which is why they're able to enter the comparison as Superman's clones. According to Hamdilnawi, it's in the South Pole or the North Pole. He's like Superman, just slightly less intelligent and powerful. He attacks Superman unnecessarily. It's like a battle between two Supermen. But Superman must win with the power of love and his honesty. The solution is for Superman to win with Krypto's help. You may wonder how, given that Ultraman has the same powers as Superman, but he's not smart enough to decide for himself. Felix easily defeats him and throws him into the black market, which was opened by the power of love, his honesty, and the solution to this predicament, just as I said. After that, Lex Luthor's soldiers arrive, and Superman takes them out in an epic scene. He then lets Krypto beat up Lex Luthor while he watches. Mr. Terrific selects the right devices, cracks the code, and closes the rift, restoring normality across all channels. People apologize to Superman after the confusion, and his girlfriend says that Lex Luthor is a traitor. He was supplying Purify the Telegram Nahamber due to an agreement to rule half the Earth, originally theirs, and take resources for himself. Perivia ruthlessly attacks the people and land of Gernhamber, burning and killing without mercy. Superman is occupied with Perivia, while Lanter and Hugjahal migrate. Mr. Terrific aids the Gernhamber people against Perivia until Superman arrives. Finally, Perivia's president, Ibn al-Fataka, dies at Huger's hands. The soldiers of Perivia are defeated, and the people of Gernhamber celebrate with the superheroes. Superman releases all the prisoners from Lex Luthor's prison in this parallel world, and Lex Luthor is imprisoned in the jail. And the movie ends with Superman looking at Lois Lane, and in the post-credit scene, we see Superman in his ship being approached by Supergirlo. It's evident that a new Detective Comics universe has started. Before concluding the video, I wanted to share a few thoughts. The movie strongly resembles a Marvel film in its humor, visuals, and plot. Everything you'd expect from Marvel, minus the iconic characters. And what's strange is that the Thunderbolts movie, which Marvel released a month ago, actually feels a lot like a Detective Comics movie. It's the same kind of gloominess, darkness, and seriousness in the stories. Both companies are changing their style, which we'll see soon. In the movie, when Borevia attacked Gernhamber to invade it, Superman saved it. But in reality, there's no Superman to save Gernhamber from Borevia. Don't count on Superman coming to save you. This concludes the story from Haduta Tuta. The tale has ended.